Okay, so we just finished exporting and we already imported it in the Second Life and everything looks great. So I'm going to figure out what layer did I have clothes on. Yeah, wait, no, wait. Was that the new? No, old. This I should have tested this. There we go. Alright, so now we have our clothes and we want to texture this so that we can have a t-shirt and stuff so we can use in Second Life. Like, dang, I'm all over the place. Okay, give me a second. Let me start over. Okay, so we got back from Second Life and we had already done our rigging and we put it into Second Life and we wore it and it looks great. Now it's time for us to get into the design fun part of texturing our garment. We're going to need to do three things. One, I need to separate these clothes from the pants and t-shirts to make them separate items because I'm only going to show you how to texture the t-shirt because t-shirt design is way more fun than pant design. I mean, who does that? So we're going to make our t-shirt separate. We're going to bake a shadow map for it. And then, which is like also known as an AO map. Shadow maps, we used to call them back in the day. And then we're going to take this into Photoshop and then do some 3D painting on it and create our own t-shirts. So let's begin. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to press tab and go on the edit mode. And we're going to press the L key over our t-shirt and that will select it all and let us separate it. This is just in case you forgot to give it its own unique color and it's not at the right. You can just press L over and you can press P and then remove it by section, or we can do like we did before and then highlight everything, press P and then separate by material, and that also allow us to have two separate parts. So what we need to do now is select our t-shirt and we're going to press M and I'm just going to move it to its own little separate layer over here. That way everything is out of the way. Now what I want to do next is give it a texture. I want to create a new texture and I want it to be 1024 by 1024. And actually we need it bigger than this because when it comes to 3D painting and Second Life, 3D painting Second Life stuff, you need to have a really big texture, and we're going to shrink it down to Second Life size later on. I'm sure you'll notice sometimes if you try to do 3D painting in Photoshop, you might get a gritty look around your brush, and that's because the texture is too small. I found that making it like double the size gives you a bigger texture, and then the grittiness goes away. You'll see what I mean when we go work on it. So when it says height and width, we're going to click on it and we're going to hold down shift and press 8, and that gives us our asterisk, and we're going to press 2, and that tells Blender to do some math and multiply this by 2, and then it does it for us and gives us 2448. But if you can't remember that, just remember times 2 or asterisk 2 and it does it for you. So we're going to do that and we're going to just hit OK. That's going to create a new map for us, so it's all black, don't worry about it. Next we're going to press tab and go into edit mode, and you can see that our UV map is coming up. Now you have two options while you are here. As you can see, there is a lot of real estate. There's a lot of real estate in this alpha map, this UV map, and we can actually hover our cursor over and press L. Oh wait, I have sync on. Let me turn that off. Okay, so we're going to press A and select everything and put our texture back here. Sometimes that happens. Untitled. There we go. And we'll zoom out so you can see. Okay, like I was saying, as you can see here, we have a lot of real estate in this, and more space we have here. We can put, I don't know, it's hard for me to explain it, but I've been told by a number of persons. Jeez, what the hell? I'm sorry, I took a break and I had something really spicy, like spicy chips, and I think it burned my brain. Alright, so let me try this one more time. You can move your UV maps here, and you can fill in the real estate here, pretty much getting the most bang for your texture, or you can leave it as is. The problem with this is that once we move our UV mapping, this map won't work for what we already imported into Second Life. So it's very important that you move your maps. If you plan on moving your maps, you move them first, then export, and not the other way around, because then it makes your import useless. So I'm not going to touch it for now. I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm just going to straight bake. So let's start baking. So in order to make a AO map, we're going to need to enable the AO. So let's go over here to our tool section, and we're going to move from our vertex thing we have selected to this little world globe thing, button, and we're going to scroll down till you see ambient occlusion, and you're going to check this box. Then you're going to scroll down some more to where it says gather, and you're going to turn your samples. Jesus, I have to 30. 22 is 20, 21, 22 is then the magic number, the magic place. 10 is where I'm going to go for right now because I need a quick bake. The lower the sample rate is, the faster it goes, but that also means the grittier it will be. So you higher the number is, the longer it takes to bake out, but the smoother it'll be. I know on the later blenders this is kind of not true anymore because 10 made a very beautiful mat that would usually take like this old blender 20, but you know, whatever, I still like it. It's still good. It's still good. Alright, so I'm going to turn it to 10. And 9 is fine. And that gives us a pretty good bake for this blender. We're going to move from this world panel and then go to the camera or the render panel, which is by this camera right here. And you're going to scroll down until you see bake. Now, it may be closed like this, so all you have to do is just click on it and it opens up this bake menu. And we're going to switch it from, which normally it says full render, to ambient occlusion. And then you're just going to hit bake. And then you're just going to wait for it to cook. You can see the progress bar up top, and then the white and stuff filling in. Or it might freeze, I'm not sure. Alright, so it just baked the texture on here. I have textured solid so you can see the texture overlay. Now you may be wondering, did it come out purple? It should be gray or something like that, right? Right. Now the reason why it came out purple is because I had the material section, the material color still assigned pink from when we were in Marvelous Designer. So if we have the diffuse color here, it's going to bake with that color on there. So that can be good and bad depending on what you plan on doing. But in most cases, if you're trying to make a template for somebody, you want to change it from whatever color you had it and make it back to white. So when we go to bake it again, this time, oh, hang on, it's baking. I'm just going to pause it while it bakes. Yeah, leg it enough. Okay, so now when we baked it, you see it's white because that's the old material color overlaying it. Now the black splotches here are the shadows, the wrinkles that I have back here. It's shadowing those as well. If I were to, oh god, I gotta bake again. If I was to smooth them out using like the sculpt tool, grab it real quick and then smooth across it and get rid of those back wrinkles, and bake again, you'll see that the things go away. So what you'll see, it will be gone. So let's go bake and I'll be back. Okay, so you see, now the back wrinkles are gone. It's not like doing the thing. And I really should have checked and seen if, yeah, I am pushing into the back a bit. So I'm going to just cheat, grab it, and pull it out. There we go. Cheating like a pro. Alright, so our t-shirt has been shaded like this with a basic shader on there. We can just save this and go file, file, image, save as, and I like, let's put it on my desktop, to give it this a few clicks, hit save, that way in case I make a new untitled thing it doesn't override it. I guess naming it would also help, but who has time to name things? If you are making a if you're making a template and you want to export this like a grid kind of thing, you can also do that in here. All you have to do is go to, where is it? Hang on, I know it's in here. Somebody recently showed me read render layers. It's like, hang on one second, I'll be right back. I'm going to look at it and I'll tell you. Oh, I forgot. I got to be in edit mode. So you're going to click on your shirt and go into edit mode. And it says UVs. And where is it? Image. Proportional edit. Here's the scenes. Pack islands. Mirror chords. You know, I was just looking at this. I knew I should have looked at it. Alright, let me pause it again and then look at it again. Let's come back. I'm so sorry. Ugh, I hate this. It's like, you know, it's sitting there looking right into your face. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to go to UVs and then select this thing that says export UV layout. That's what I need to press. And then you hit this and hit export it. And then that'll give you just like a blank texture with the grid lines there. And that's how people do those. So if you just want to make templates for people and like texture things, you can do it that way instead of giving them out your texture. Alright, so now that we have our shadow and our thingamabobs all baked, we can export this garment as an OBJ. So select it, export as an OBJ, that is a day. And I'm going to put it on my desktop. And we're going to open this up in Photoshop and start designing all over it. So see you guys in Photoshop. Sorry for this bad tutorial.